but for December and January so far, it's been 9,900. I have 73 appointments booked so far for the month of February. So that's a pretty big month. They keep coming back for more. So that's good.
Hey everyone, it's Jake Randolph, the co-founder of Linked Permanent Jewelry Training, and today I've got Larysa here from Sydney, Montana. She is one of our students, and she wanted to come on here and kind of share her experience and some tips, for adding permanent jewelry to boutiques. And so, I kind of already spilled the beans, but you're a boutique owner, right?
Yep. Yes, I am.
Awesome. And how long have you been a boutique owner?
I have owned Meraki since 2016. So we turned 5 this year.
Awesome. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And so, what made you, look into permanent jewelry?
Well, TikTok, number one. Everybody's on TikTok. And, at the end of the day, I scroll through videos. And I'm also a part of another organization called the Boutique Hub. And I kind of saw that people were asking questions about it in there, like other boutique owners across the United States. So it's kind of making waves. And I'm like, I hadn't heard of it in my area. I didn't know that this was a thing. So I started looking into it. I Googled permanent jewelry and Linked popped up. And so that's when I started messaging you. I think we texted back and forth a little bit, and I pulled the trigger. I thought this was a great way to bring extra income into our boutique in the slower months.
Yeah, it's kind of cool at this point because I had another video call earlier today, and it's all of our students that I was like texting back and forth back in 3 or 4 months ago, and I was like
Right.
basically trying to sell to them, and you guys trusted me, and so it's kind of cool like having you back on video saying like, oh, thanks so much for trusting me and like showing that it was a great decision, so that's kind of a surreal moment.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's kind of, well, when I don't know anything about the industry and you're trying to learn something new. And when I went and I told my family, I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to do permanent jewelry. And I'm like, I'm going to buy this welder and I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to take this online class. And they're all looking at me like, what? You're crazy. And then they've kind of seen how everything's evolved in the last couple of
Mhm.
months, and they're like, okay, that was a good idea. I'm always looking for like that next best thing, I guess.
Mhm.
And I thought this was a great opportunity, and I'm very thankful that I chose you guys. I watch online and I see all sorts of different companies popping up,
Yeah.
but I trust you guys, and I would refer you a million times to anybody that was looking, into getting into permanent jewelry. It's been a really good experience.
That's amazing to hear. So as far as income goes, if you don't mind sharing, like how has permanent jewelry done?
Yeah, so I got my kit at the end of October. November was kind of my test time where I had,
Mhm.
some clients come in and I gave them a discount for, practice. And so I didn't really dive in until December. But so far, I don't know how accurate it is, but for December and January so far, it's been 9,900. And then going forward, I have 73 appointments booked so far for the month of February. So
Uh,
that's a pretty big month. And
Yeah.
I know some of those people, they keep coming back for more. So that's good. And
Yeah.
some of those people I know, they're not just getting one bracelet. A lot of times they come in and they get 2 or 3, which is great and really increases your profits for one appointment. So it's done really well.
That's awesome. So it's pretty cool to me how permanent jewelry is a very customizable business. Like some people
Mhm.
like focus on events, some people focus on their boutique, and some people do a
Yep.
mixture. So you would say the majority of your clients, or sounds like all of them, have been from coming into your boutique, right?
Yeah. So for those 2 months, I did one pop up in a town that's like an hour away. The rest of that was from just foot traffic and people walking in and me advertising. For the month of February, those are all appointments booked in other towns. So
Okay.
I've messaged other boutiques. I'm setting up in a coffee shop. I'm traveling 8 hours away to set up in another boutique in Minnesota. So I'm all about, I know you don't just sit and wait for people to come to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to put in a little bit of work. And so that's what I've been doing. The store's slow. I mean, here, Christmas time, it was 50 below and no one was leaving their houses. And so I'm like, you have to do something, to get out there and put your name out there and go find your clients.
Would you say that despite the economy probably changing for the worse, like your
Mhm.
sales this year so far have been better than last year at the same time?
Yes, they have been better. And I think with permanent jewelry, the nice thing about it is, someone could come into a boutique and they buy a sweater for
Mhm.
someone, and there's not much like meaning behind the sweater. It's a nice gift. But with permanent jewelry, I really sell the fact that it's like sentimental and
Mhm.
it is a gift that lasts. And so I market that to people. And so when people come in, whether it's a husband or a grandma, I really push giving something that is going to last longer than a piece of clothing. They do it together. I had a family of 5 come in and they all got bracelets. And then this little 2-year-old girl came in and she had a little baby doll, and her baby doll's name was Brother John. And everything she does, the baby does. And so I even put a bracelet on her little baby doll. It's been really
Yeah.
fun. I'll put a bracelet on anyone or anything, I guess.
Mhm. That's funny. Yeah, I've even seen people put bracelets on like their puppies.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's like puppies are like kids, right?
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's great to hear. So as far as like, adding it to your boutique, kind of
Mhm.
talk to us a little bit about that. Do you just have it like set up in a corner or on a table or like only by demand or how do you structure that?
So I'm only here certain hours. So I really promote that, I'm the one that has to be here for them to come and, get a piece put on. And then I do have a spot in the back. I made a nice little area. There's like one of those like green floral walls and a neon sign that says, "Babe, you look so cool." And it's kind of like a whole experience. Like it's all lit up back there. I've got my own little desk and the jewelry on display. So and I think that's important too. Like, I think
Hmm.
anything anymore, it's not just about buying and selling a product, it's about creating an experience for the people that are walking through your door. And so I like to be able to offer that to them. So I like that space to be very like inviting and relaxing So yeah, I
Yeah.
do have a whole space in the store for it.
Yeah, I love when you said it's all about the experience. It's not just an item that you're selling, and
Right.
I think that's why so many people don't understand permanent jewelry until they really dive into it because
Hmm.
you're creating memories and moments, and
Right.
it's not just you're selling a bracelet.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's important to people, especially, you know, I think when money's tight for people and they are looking to get someone a gift, they'd much rather spend money on something that's a little bit more meaningful than just grabbing like lotion and bath salts off the
Right.
shelf.
Right.
So I think they're more willing to invest and spend that extra money on something that is more meaningful for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to take a step back to when you said you're going to travel 8 hours to Minnesota.
Mhm.
So that's another cool thing about permanent jewelry is it's like a mobile business. Like
Right.
you mentioned, but I think before we started recording, but you live in a town of only what 6 or 7 thousand people.
Yep. So when I actually got into the boutique industry, I started out selling LuLaRoe. And it blew up for us, and I had a traveling trailer, and I started out doing pop-ups. And then one day I stopped selling that and I converted to ordering my own clothing and jewelry and shoes
Mm.
and that sort of thing. So I'm very used to doing pop-ups and traveling all over the place for vendor fairs and events. And then I stopped because I kids. Um, and so that I kind of put that to rest. But with this, it's so easy to pack up. I just have everything in one little tote, so it's no problem for me to throw it in the car for a day and go pop up somewhere.
That's awesome. And so as far as like you mentioned running ads or doing advertising, what kind of ads do you do?
Um, just on Facebook, really. I mean, here in Sydney, there's like advertising anywhere else, whether it be the paper or anything like that, is so expensive. I just really utilize Facebook and create Facebook events and posts, and I share them to different groups. And that's kind of just my go to, or word of mouth. I mean, word travels fast in a small town. So just by people coming in and getting a bracelet and going back to a town an hour away, then they end up driving here for the weekend because there's no one else in our area that does it.
Yeah, and I think most people don't realize because you said something that caught my attention. You said a lot of people keep coming back for more. People don't realize how addictive permanent jewelry really is. Like
It really yeah, it is, and so they put one on, and then, might be a couple weeks, and then they're like, "Oh, I think another." I mean, I have a lady that has 8 on right now,
Yeah.
and she just keeps coming back for more, when whether like, those are all bracelets, but, whether they do a bracelet one time and an anklet the next, they definitely do. They don't stay with just one piece of jewelry. They always come back for more.
Yeah, it's funny because like I've never personally cared about jewelry at all, but now I have like a necklace, I have 4 bracelets, and so it's definitely
Yeah, and I think even for myself, I have 3 bracelets on, but I think one thing that is important, like, you yourself are an advertisement.
yeah.
So, making sure that you're wearing the jewelry too, so that when you're out in public, and I've had numerous people stop me and be like, "Oh, I saw your post on Facebook. Like, what is it? Does it hurt? Is it a tattoo? Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't hurt." And so then, you can show them and they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." So I think it's so important that, I mean, if you're selling it and you're offering the service, like, it's important for you to have more than one, so you can show the different ways to wear it and have charms and, different things. I think, yeah, that's important.
So I'm going to do a little quick round robin of questions that potential
Okay.
students always ask me, and that way they can hear it directly from one of our students. So, did you
Okay.
have previous welding experience?
N Absolutely not.
All right.
That's a no.
All right. Did you have previous jewelry experience, like crafting jewelry or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. And then which package did you go with? Did you go with deluxe or elite?
I went with
Sorry.
the Orion one is the one that I have.
Okay, so that's the elite. So you have the Orion. So what's your experience been with the Orion?
It's been great. It's very easy to use. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. I mean, the manual, the online training, everything, it's been great. I haven't had any issues whatsoever with it.
Awesome. And then how long did or how many times do you have to watch the course, or how much did you have to practice before you really felt comfortable, with the service?
Um, I mean, really, it only took me probably, I really sat down for probably 3 days with my kit and practicing the welds, the different settings, seeing what worked and what didn't work. And then again, I think just the group is very helpful when it comes
Mhm.
to looking for information or help or troubleshooting. Sarah's very helpful. I haven't had to message her myself, but I've seen other students ask for help and she's like, "Call me, send me a video." Like, I
Mm.
think that is so important. And I don't know what the other training programs are like, but you guys have been so wonderful as far as having, questions, and you answer the phone or you send text messages. It's just all around, it's been a really great experience.
And I don't know if it's helped or not, but one of my goals was always like if we do have current business owners who are just adding permanent jewelry, like I hope my marketing that's like I teach you guys how to market for permanent jewelry and a lot of marketing tips. I hope that helps your boutique as well.
It does. I use, your guys' photos, your guys' videos. I think that's been a great tool because it really shows, I don't have the time, to be honest, to do a lot of that myself. And so that you guys offer that is a huge value because I know the time that it takes to take the photos, have the photo shoots, make the
Mhm.
videos. And so that's a huge bonus in being a part of the program for sure.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and thank you so much for that feedback.
Yeah.
If there's anyone on the fence right now, what would you say to them?
Don't wait, just jump and do it. I don't regret it at all. And I always think it's very important that you just have to put yourself out there and
Mhm.
step out of your comfort zone. Like I just said, I had no experience using a welder, no jewelry experience whatsoever, but I had the desire to learn. And you can't just buy the kit and think that you're just going to make money like that. That's not how it works. You still have to put the work into it. You have to advertise, market yourself, find your clientele, and I promise it will take off after there. Once people start hearing about it and you put in the work, you'll be rewarded for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do like a follow up video call when you have like those 73 appointments in February. Because
Yeah, we'll do
I
that.
mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure those 73 will usually turn out to like because some people will get multiple bracelets, and then some people
Right.
will bring a friend, and so I'm sure that'll turn into more appointments too.
Yeah, and those are just appointments booked through my Vagaro. So on all of those pop-ups where I'm going to be, I've told people like I will accept walk-ins as time
Mhm.
allows. I just can't guarantee. So I've really pushed them to book the appointments ahead of time to make sure that I can get them in. So yeah, we'll for sure have to follow up at the end of February and see how it turned out. I'm excited.
Yep, for sure. Because I mean, with those numbers, it's going to be hard not to make at least 10 to 20 grand next month.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Alrighty. Well, I'm so happy for your success. Like I said, I remember, back when you texted me and we were kind of talking back and forth and you were like,
hmm
doing your research. And so I'm so thankful you trusted us and,
Yeah,
you've been an
thank you.
awesome asset to the community.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, if anyone wants to check out your boutique, do you have an Instagram for it that they can look up?
Yep, it's just Montana Meraki is the handle for our Instagram.
Awesome. And is that Merika?
Meraki.
Yeah, that's it.
So Montana Meraki. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience and some tips, and we really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
All right. Thank you.